Welcome to the Brian Craig Show podcast. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. The Brian Craig Show podcast is brought to you by Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, who will never sell you a roof you do not need. We'll talk more about Tom later. Thank you so much for your sponsorship of the program, Laporta Contracting and Laporta Roofing. Okay, well, this weekend has just been a disaster for Biden. And an article just dropped in the Gateway Pundit that I'm going to go through now. The clock is ticking, and you know what has gone on is the powers that be, the government's been shut down for a week because of 4th of July. Everything's shut down. Congress, they're all back in their home districts. The government doesn't work on the weekends, and the Bidens got it in their head. Maybe somebody that's just entertaining them has given them the idea that if they could get things back on track over the 4th of July weekend, everything will be okay. So Biden did that interview with Stephanopoulos where they painted him up orange, right? You know this orange man thing they do with Trump, it's insane. They made Biden orange. The interview went very poorly. It was incredibly short. It went very, very poorly. He spoke in Wisconsin, which is where he did the interview. And he left after a very short speech to a small group of people in a middle school gym. And I noticed he got out right before 4 o'clock. It was like right before the sundown syndrome kicked in. And now he's on Eastern time and they're on Central time. So it was, right before 3 o'clock Central, but right before 4 o'clock Eastern. He got out of there after a very short speech, and I told Kathy, he's like Cinderella. 4 o'clock comes around, he turns into, what he turns into. So this article just came out, and it's in the Gateway Pundit, but it's based on reporting in Axios. Listen to this. The desperation from Democrats regarding Joe Biden is going into overdrive, and a final answer regarding his political future could come this week. Axios on Sunday dropped an explosive report that a fast-growing number of Democrats are begging and plotting an intervention as Dementia Joe refuses to quit the presidential race. And let's stop there. Dropping out of the presidential race is only part one. There's no way it's going to fly that he's mentally incapable of running for president, but he's mentally capable to be president. So the Bidens haven't even dealt, I don't think yet, with the possibility that he's not going to finish his term. They're going to force him out. They're just trying to stay the nominee for the party.
Well, here's the problem the press is having. I mean, it's such a mess. They've been defending this guy for months and months and months, gaslighting everybody, telling everybody he's fine, he's healthy, he's sharp as a tack, blah, 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 when they all knew that was BS. Then he does a debate, and it was so bad that they had to admit that he was out of it. Mm-hmm. And it's getting worse.
Oh yeah,
and they decided, whoever's running the country, we know it's not him, that he's out because they're like, there's no way this guy can beat Trump. This is their thinking. So now they're all in on trying to get him out, but he's refusing to leave. So if they can't get rid of him, how are they going to undo this mess and do another 180 back to Biden is great? I mean, they can't fix this mess they've created now.
They're confident.
They're screwed either way.
They're confident they're going to be able to get him out of the way.
One way or another, I guess.
Now, back to the Axios article. The Democrats want everyone from the Obamas to congressional leaders to persuade Biden to drop out by Friday. Top Democrats want Biden out by then because they hope he'll endorse Harris as his successor and help ward off an all-out brawl at the Democrat convention in Chicago. Axios reports this. If Biden were to endorse Harris as the nominee, she'd need time to ramp up and pick a running mate. And if Biden didn't anoint her, there'd be a frenzy among governors and ambitious Democrats to try to win the nomination. The S is going to hit the fan on Monday when Congress returns, a House Democrat told Axios. People are scared about their own races. Remember, every member of the House is up for re-election every 2 years. Yep. So these Democrats in the House are in a panic.
Yeah, they're worried. They're not worried about the country. They're worried about their own jobs.
Several Democrats in the House are close to speaking out publicly or even signing letters telling Biden to give up, according to Axios. A top Democrat operative told Axios that the only person oblivious to Biden's political position is Biden himself. And I think Jill, too. I think Jill, who's basically the president. And she doesn't want to give up power. Plus,
I don't think they're oblivious. I think they just don't care.
I don't.
They don't care. They care about themselves. They don't care what other people think.
They're in a bubble, and resigning the presidency or not going for the nomination is not just humiliating. It's a stain that will follow forever, because what they've done here,
absolutely,
is set up a forever discussion that's going to go on for decades about the presidency of Dementia Joe. This Dementia Joe is going to be how he's known and remembered.
Well, and now the press is really turned on him. Like, he was at this black church. You notice how he ignored that black girl in the line? It was all over Twitter yesterday. It broke my heart to see that girl's face. Trump should invite her to Mar-a-Lago. And now he's at a black church this morning. I mean, everything they do is so staged and fake. And there was all video today on Twitter of him. He gave a speech. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And then he's just sitting there staring off into space. The blank stare where somebody said the lights are on, but nobody's home. That's kind of thing.
Right.
This guy is not going to snap out of this, okay? And I think Democrats have finally admitted this to themselves, because they lie to themselves, that it's over. But here's the thing that nobody has asked anybody, which I would love to be asked. What's your plan B? If Biden, they keep thinking he's going to resign. And I've told you guys, this guy is not going to resign unless they come out with something really bad. Even then, I don't think he'd resign. It is not the old days of politicians. Politicians don't walk away anymore. They stay with it. And I don't think he'll resign. So I would like to ask somebody, what's the plan B if he flat out refuses? Nobody has asked that question of anybody. And I really like to know what that is for them.
Well, the only thing I can think of, Kathy, in response to that is, of course, no one knows. But I think that they're making a plan to remove him from office if he won't step down. And like I was telling you,
I know, I just like to know what that plan is.
The 25th Amendment. If he won't resign.
I thought a brokered convention they've talked about.
They don't want him out.
Doing new primaries. Kathy, they're throwing a lot out there.
They don't want him just out of the running. They want him out of the office. Okay? They're just doing it step by step.
Well, let me ask you this. Here's the problem with that. There obviously is a major dissension going on. So if they want to get him out and he's refusing to step down or not run again, there's probably a lot of arguing about what to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there probably is a lot of infighting as to what that plan B is. Some people might say we have to do the 25th Amendment. Some people might say we need to do another primary. Some people might say broker.
Well, they can't do a primary.
So, somebody mentioned that they could hold another quick primary and pick somebody else.
No, they can't.
So there might be.
They can't do that.
The problem is it's chaos, and you got all these different factions running things.
I don't think it's chaos.
They can't all get on the same page.
I don't think it's chaos at all. I think there's this little bubble of Biden people that are holed up in the White House, and then there's the rest of the Democrat Party. And, this Axios article I was reading from a few minutes ago, that one of the Congress people, they said they went back home in their district and every constituent they met with was asking about Biden's mental health.
Yeah.
So they have a plan that what they're trying to do is coerce him into stepping aside and taking whatever golden parachute payoff they offer him and his family.
Never going to happen.
If he doesn't do that, they're planning on the 25th Amendment. The holdup has been a couple of things. One, because of the 4th of July, the entire government has been shut down for a week, right? So everybody in Washington comes back to work this week. So they're all there. They're all in place. They're going to start organizing towards that. If the Bidens, they're going to go to the Bidens
again
a final time. They're going to go to them a final time. They're going to offer them a deal. And if they don't take it, they're going to go to the 25th Amendment because the Democrats have gone so hardcore against him. You know, David Axelrod has been on CNN nonstop. It's like the days of Michael Avenatti with Axelrod, who's a direct voice of Obama, who's talking about how out of it Biden is and he can't win. He needs to step aside. So they're all in on this. There's no pivoting back. They can't. There's not anything going to happen. Now, Laura Loomer on Friday picked up on something. Who was it that had the original tweet when we were?
Monica Crowley.
Okay, Monica Crowley on Friday tweeted that there's been a medical emergency on Air Force One with the president. This was on the way back to D.C. from Wisconsin. Within an hour, she and everybody except Laura Loomer said that report was false. Laura Loomer, here we are 3 days out. She sticks by it, and Laura Loomer has very good sources. Laura Loomer is the only person that's still reporting this. Everybody else says it wasn't true.
She said there's a cover-up.
But
now.
Laura Loomer says that there was a medical emergency with Biden on Air Force One on Friday. Yep. There is a complete cover-up. She's talked about this, how she said there'll be a time soon when a staffer comes out and tells the truth. She's going to be totally vindicated. Laura Loomer has incredible sources. I've never known her to be wrong about something.
No.
And she has really gone in hardcore. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeted today that report's not true.
Well, because she doesn't like Laura
Marjorie
Loomer.
Taylor Greene and Laura Loomer hate each other more than any two people I've ever known.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because I like them both a lot, but they hate each other. So those two are always going to counter the other.
Right.
So I think Laura Loomer's probably right. Loomer also broke a story on Friday that's been picked up in the mainstream press today. She said that there's a Parkinson's expert has been at the White House meeting with Biden, personal doctor at the White House. This Parkinson doctor, he's been donating money. He's donating like $1,200. Not a lot for somebody at that level, but what I take from that is they've been sneaking in this specialist to examine Biden as a donor, so people didn't realize who he was on the visitor log. And I've been telling you guys for a year, maybe two, that I think he has Parkinson's.
These doctors if there are doctors that are actively covering this up, they should lose their medical license.
Well, it's between them and a patient.
No, but if they're actively, he has one doctor who comes out and says he's fine.
Oh yeah, yes.
Okay, if you have a doctor treating the president, remember when Trump had COVID, and they found that doctor came out and they got out of him that he had used oxygen or something for like 30 minutes.
Yes,
and they pounced on that guy for weeks. They tried to destroy his career because he didn't disclose that in the first 10 minutes of his press conference. And then he admitted it, which is no big deal. Probably just his oxygen got below 92 and for a little bit, and they put him on it. That's standard protocol. But they crucified that guy, that young doctor, over that. And then you have doctors here with Biden that are actively lying and telling you that everything's fine, nothing to see here, when they know that's baloney. So, I think there's a major cover-up.
Absolutely.
And I think that when Trump wins, he should have Jim Jordan look into this, just like COVID, and look into this cover-up. Listen, the one thing you need to take from all of this, okay, if you're a liberal, is that the media basically has admitted to you that they lie to you on a daily basis. They have come out, and they have put their reputation on the line. That's how serious they are about getting rid of Biden. They're panicked that he cannot win. They know he cannot win. So they are actually admitting that they've been lying to you for months and months and years. But you know what? They don't care that they're admitting that, because that's how badly they want this guy out, that they're willing to do that. I mean, Van Jones said it yourself. He said what you see on TV is not what's going on behind closed doors. But we are getting some glimpses now.
Yeah.
They're finally, for the first time, pulling back that curtain and letting you see what's really going on. You know why? Because that's what they want. That's what they want to do.
That's right. Now, listen, guys, if you would like to support this program, of course, there are many ways to do that. But one of the best ways to do that is to go to mypillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. There's huge deals there. This morning, I woke up this morning. I didn't have to run out to go to work. And
Always
you know,
nice.
when I get up to go to work in the morning, I jump out of bed. Today